the topic of my talk is English-Chinese parallel corpus for language studies. So basically, we're talking about parallel corpus. We're not talking about just English. So you're all English teachers, right? Yes. As English teachers, we might think, well, we don't deal with Chinese, okay, because we only teach the English. So in our classroom, English only. So we don't bother with Chinese. But actually, that is not right, okay? In fact, the mother tongue plays a very important role in second language learning. And because your linguistic repertoire help you to learn a foreign language. You have the basic understanding of grammar, rules, and you apply the rules in your home language to the learning of a foreign language. And sometimes those rules help, but sometimes they interfere your learning and actually make you make mistakes. So you need to understand the systematic differences between the English and the Chinese language system. So that's why parallel corpus studies is very helpful. Okay? And in fact, our students, we all speak Chinese, but they are not aware of a lot of things that happening in Chinese. They just speak it automatically. They don't think about Chinese grammar and patterns. But if we do some comparison between English and Chinese, they realize, oh, I see, in Chinese I do it like this. I didn't realize this until I compare with English. Now I know why I make all these mistakes in English, or not the right way to express. So this can be really helpful. But students themselves, they don't know how to do those comparative studies. So that's why the teachers, us, need to play this role of facilitating their learning. And then how do we do that? We need some kind of tools, okay? So parallel corpus is a very powerful tool. I will introduce this to you. And then as teachers, we need to design kind of pedagogical framework, okay? Learning materials based on parallel corpus data so that learners can benefit, okay? Okay, that's some kind of background introduction. So today's overview, so first I will introduce to you what is parallel corpus, definition, tools, and then what is English-Chinese parallel concordancing. This may be a new word to you, concordancing. And English-Chinese comparative studies based on parallel corpus. I'll give you some examples and I will conclude, okay? Why do we use corpus? Because nowadays, in linguistic studies, we say corpora are becoming mainstream. So most linguists nowadays, they use corpora in their research, in their study. And many teachers starting to use corpus. So this is something everybody is starting to use. So you as teachers should know this, okay? This is something really popular nowadays. And linguistics based on intuition and introspection alone has proved to be inadequate, okay? Even if you ask a native speaker, why do you speak like this? They may not be able to answer your question. I don't know, I just think that's the right way to say it. I'm not sure why, I can't explain it. Oh, sometimes they may be wrong. Even the native speakers, they may get it wrong, okay? So you cannot base on your own intuition, your feeling, to think this is correct, that is not correct. So that is not adequate. We have to base on really strong evidence. What is the strongest evidence? Is from corpus. Because in corpus we have millions and millions of words of language data from the community, what people speak, how people say, what people write, and we analyze the real data, and then we reach a conclusion, rather than think, I think it's like that. That's not good enough, okay? So users of a language are not necessarily accurate reporters of usage, so they may not be able to explain to you why they use like that, even their own language. But most of our skills in using language is unconscious and therefore difficult to recall, but easy to recognize. If you show them, oh, this is, people say, oh yeah, that's right, and I think that's the way they say it. So easy to recognize, but if you ask them to recall it, to explain rules, it's very hard, okay? So English-Chinese parallel corpus provides rich and authentic language data. Do you know this word authentic? Meaning what?
Original.
Yeah, original, real language, okay, for comparative studies, okay, we are comparing English with Chinese. So basically, through the use of computer-assisted concordance tools, like computer tools, corpus